In this short clip, we're going to discuss plagiarism and the reason why we use in-text citations and reference entries in papers and projects. It may seem strange to just start a discussion on plagiarism with the definition of what a reference is, but before we go any farther, it will be important to know what it is we're talking about. A reference is the basic information required to identify or locate a specific publication. That includes books, journal articles, and videos, among other things. It also serves as a way to point to additional information on the topic at hand. Here's an example of what a reference entry looks like in the APA style. So why is it important that you use citations and references in your papers and projects? One reason is to provide a uniform system for others reading or listening to your work to be able to identify the sources you used. It is important to have a standard way to cite a source in order to make it easier for someone else to find that source if they need more information on what you are discussing. The second reason to cite your sources is to show that you have done your research when it comes to a particular topic. Your own arguments are strengthened when you reference the arguments of others. Third, and possibly most important, citing your sources gives the appropriate credit to the original author or creator of the work you are referencing. This giving credit where credit is due is what helps us prevent plagiarism. What exactly is plagiarism? According to the 2013-2014 Asbury University Bulletin, plagiarism is the use of another's ideas, words, thoughts, or organization without appropriate credit and documentation. Basically, if it's not yours, make sure you tell where you got it. To view Asbury's complete policy on plagiarism, check out the bulletin at this web address. Ignorance is not an excuse when it comes to plagiarism, so make sure you know the rules. The consequences for plagiarism at Asbury University are also outlined in the bulletin, and they show us that plagiarism is not taken lightly. One or more of the listed consequences will apply to you if you're caught plagiarizing in any of your classes. Since plagiarizing is such a big deal, let's see how good you are at identifying what qualifies as plagiarism. I'll put up a situation, and you have to decide if it qualifies as plagiarism. Feel free to pause the video after each scenario to give yourself more time if needed. The first scenario is that you use unauthorized notes during the exam. Does that count as plagiarism? Using notes without permission during the exam is cheating, and certainly not tolerated, but it is not plagiarism. Next, consider the scenario that you present part of someone else's paper as your own. Is that plagiarism? Yes, this is the most straightforward type of plagiarism, because you would be using someone else's exact words and not giving them credit by claiming it as your own. What if you use a commonly known fact in your paper that is mentioned in one of your sources? This would not be considered plagiarism and would not need a citation for the information, because a fact, like the United States is located in North America, is considered common knowledge. How about if you use someone else's idea in your paper, but you put it in your own words? In this case, it is still plagiarism, because your paper does not give credit to the original article where you got the information. Even if you put something in your own words, you still need to credit where you got the ideas or information. In the next scenario, you use the same outline for your paper that appears in a book on your topic. Would this be plagiarism? Yes, this is an example of plagiarism by using another person's organization. Even if the text of your paper is not identical to the source, copying the outline of someone else's work is still plagiarism. If you choose to quote a passage from a book in your paper, as illustrated below, does it count as plagiarism? No. This is the correct APA-style citation for quoting a sentence from the given text. Provided that there is a full reference entry to this book on your reference page at the end of your paper, you would be good to go. Talking about in-text citations and reference pages, let's make it clear what it looks like to reference someone else's book or article correctly. Please note that the following examples are in APA style. If you're writing in a different style, like MLA, the type of information required may vary slightly, but the basic premise of using in-text citations and a reference page is the same. First, you should have an in-text citation along with the sentence that has the information or ideas that you got from someone else. If you directly quote someone and you're writing in the APA style, your in-text citation should look similar to one of these two examples. You'll note that the same basic information is included in both versions. You just have options about how it is arranged. If you paraphrase someone, or put their ideas into your own words, you still need to make sure you acknowledge the source of the information. Please note that the APA style does not require the page number when paraphrasing, but you are encouraged to include it. Anything that gets an in-text citation in your paper also needs a complete reference entry on your reference page at the end of your paper. If I used ideas and information from 2 books by Smith and Palmer in my paper, my APA style reference page should look like this example. You'll notice that the in-text citation of Smith, 1999 directs readers to this full reference entry on the reference page, where more information is available on the Smith 1999 resource. You also might note that the Smith resource listed here is entirely fictional. If you're still unsure at this point what counts as plagiarism or what steps you need to take to avoid plagiarism, there are a lot of people available to help. Please don't hesitate to talk to your instructor, to a librarian, or to a staff member at the Center for Academic Excellence. It is always better to ask for help than to just hope that you got it right. We're here to support you as you create the best papers and projects that you possibly can.